Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond Self Limits. And here we talk about elevating spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and everything in between. If you like these types of videos, I hope that you'll stick around and subscribe and join the team. So, today we're going to talk about 9 frugal tips that still work in 2023 to save you some money. Now, some of these you may have already heard in a previous video of mine or you've heard from other people, but they all work. And I hope that there's a couple in here that you may not have heard of before or even thought about. Because it's always nice, I feel, to have like a list in front of you or to listen to someone else to kind of see how you can save, because I'm always on the hunt for ways to save money, improve my life, figure out how to get from point A to point B. And the best way to do that is to share ideas with friends, families, and even strangers. So when I'm done with this video, I hope that you guys will share your tips as well in the comments below. Would love to hear what you're doing as well. So the first thing is the 24-hour cart rule. Now, some people do 48 hours, but 24 hours will work the same. So if you enjoy shopping online and you're not sure if you really need it, want it, and it's just on sale, then go ahead and throw it in the cart and then come revisit it in 24 hours to see if you still really want it. Oftentimes that instant urge is gone, or that sense of gratification of wanting to do something just because that thrill that you're getting is no longer there after that initial time of you looking at it. Like maybe you're looking at it when you were bored or at night or procrastinating doing something, and then when you come back to visit it with fresh eyes, you're kind of like, I don't need it. And if the case is that you still do need it and want it, then go ahead and buy it. Now, if you do this often and that's not long enough, then you might want to change it from 24 hours to 48 or even a week. Now, the flip side to this is maybe you don't even shop online, right? So how can you have that same concept? And something that I like to do is if I'm in a store and I really want it, because sometimes I'll have that regret that I wish I would have got it when it was on sale, then what I will do is I will buy the item or a couple of items, right? And then if it's not something I was going to use or eat or consume that day, and it's not perishable, of course, I'm going to leave it in the bag and leave the receipt in there, and I'm going to go place it in a corner or somewhere. And if I don't reach for it that week or the next few days, or I'm still thinking about it throughout the week and I'm kind of like, I really didn't need that, I don't really want it, then I'm going to go return it. And if this case is I do need it and I do want it and I really am going to get some type of use out of it, then that's when I will go retrieve that item and use it. But at least that way there was some type of way to make sure that it wasn't an impulse buy, but something that you really needed or wanted and were going to use. The key part is something that you were going to use, because you could really want or need something, but if you're not going to use it, then there's no point in purchasing it. So the next thing is 1 in, 1 out rule. So I've recently decluttered a huge part of my life, my items, the things for my family, for multiple reasons. No, I'm not a minimalist, but it definitely helps cut back on the time for cleaning, for organizing, and knowing where things are. And in order to keep that same structure, then I like to have the 1 in, 1 out rule for the majority of things where it makes sense. So obviously if I have to get rid of a multiple of shirts because they ripped, or underwear or socks or cups or plates or whatever it is that broke, then I'll buy a few more. But essentially if I went through all of my mugs, I love mugs, I enjoy drinking coffee and tea, then unless there's something wrong with one of them, I know that I don't have the space for any more, right? So that being said, I have to be ready to let go one of my mugs or a different type of cup before I can bring another one in. So not only is that going to save me money, but it's going to save me space, time, and resources. And what I mean by resources is that's one extra item taking up space, one extra place that you have to clean, one extra item that you have to wash. And although you have it and you may use it, doesn't necessarily mean that you need it. So if you want to hear more about like practical tips and items you should declutter this year. Please keep a lookout for that video coming next week. So the next thing is shopping off-season and on-sale items. So if it's something that you need and you don't need it immediately, then make a plan to purchase these items only when you know they go on sale a few times a year, or buying clothes off-season. So for the most part, if you live in California, you kind of get 2 seasons depending on where in California you live, which is hot and cold. We don't often get rain. We don't often get like warm, I would say super chilly weather. With that being said, that you can kind of get away with like fall, spring, coldish clothes all season. And if your spring stuff, because spring is still pretty hot here, then that'll still be your summer clothes. So depending on when things are going on sale, because although we live in California, we still get all 4 seasons of clothing put into stores. So you can always still buy off season to be prepared for the next season or upcoming seasons. Now, the next thing I would say is inventory. Do an inventory check before you make any purchases, and if possible, try to do this once or twice a month. So if you go grocery shopping or household shopping twice a month, then you always go back to whatever list that you have to kind of know. So household items, personal care, food items, and this is going to stop you from overbuying and also wasting things, because you're going to know what the expiration is, and instead of having to throw away those items, which is essentially throwing away your money, you're going to be able to use that. And then not only by having a count of your inventory, you can FIFO it, right? So that's first in, first out. So if you buy something new, you bring it to the back, the oldest one goes to the front, to make sure that you're always using those items in rotation. And so if you have an emergency kit, now would be a great time while you're checking your inventory is to pull the stuff from your emergency kit. You want to do this twice a year, and then replace it with something fresh from your cabinet, and then put that on the counter, and now that can be included in your plan for food, grocery, hygiene items that you need to use this week or this month. The next thing is shop multiple stores. So obviously you don't want to drive all the way across town to save a buck, because then you're wasting money on gas. But most of the time, if it's about 5 minutes away, it will make sense for you to do this. So for example, I won't buy meats from Ralph's unless it's like one particular thing I need because it was a last minute recipe, I'm in a pinch, or I've gone to other stores and they just don't have it. What I prefer to do is to buy my meats from Aldi or Costco, because I know that it's going to last me for the month and it's going to give me the most bang for my buck. Now, where I live, I would probably, if I was closer to a different store like Winco, then I would buy my meats from there. And then things for like seafood, I would go to my international Asian market, because I know that the seafood is going to be cheaper there as opposed to a different store. And places like Aldi, they have a limited selection on seafood you can get. So obviously they have a selection, but it's not going to be as fresh, or it's going to be frozen, and it's going to be a limited of quality and quantity of what you can get. And I don't know about you, but I just don't have it in me to go to Vons or Ralph's or Albertsons to pay top dollar if it's not on sale. And sometimes, depending on where you live, that's going to be pretty far away. Now, I also know things like I want to get certain staple items from different stores. Like obviously you can't get certain brands that you like from certain places. So you just plan to go once a month as opposed to 4 times a month if you have to shop weekly. The next thing is sign up for coupons. So coupons still come in the mail. If you don't like paper items, then you can sign up for email coupons. But before you do this, I do recommend that you either set up a rule in your inbox for all of these coupons to go into, or a separate email that you only check when you're ready to make purchases for your home. So you don't have to sign up for everything and anything, but the most common places that you shop, like if you shop at Ralph's, I have their app, so I get their coupons. If you shop at Sephora for your makeup or hair products, they have coupons there. If you shop at places like Walgreens, you can generally get coupons from there, and then either use it at Walgreens or use it at Walmart. Now, what I like to do is before I finish the checkout online is I will just do a quick Google search for coupons. You can literally type into Google like coupons for this store or this brand in place. And most of the time, maybe the first one or two is expired, but you'll still be able to find something to get like 20% off, or buy one, get one 50% off, or buy one, get one free, or for a cheaper price. And just spending that extra few minutes to do the research overall is going to save you a ton of money at the end of the month. So even if you're only saving $10 a month by doing these coupons, eventually you're going to get better at it and it could be more, but $10 a month is $120 a year, which you could spend on treating yourself to eat out, buying yourself a new outfit, getting your hair done, a massage. There's so many different things that you could be utilizing that money for at the end of the year or even the middle of the year to save. And another thing you could do is every time you save that money, whatever the small percentage, you just transfer it to another account, or you take the cash and you put it in a jar and then you revisit it to see the accomplishments that you've made. Next is bulk buying with friends or family. So I'm sure someone has some type of Costco membership, Sam's Club membership, or any other large warehouse stores that may be near you. Now, maybe you have the membership as well, but you don't need to use all of these items, or it's going to last you all year, or you don't have space or the money at this time to purchase it, although you know that it's going to save you so much more money. So what I'd recommend in these situations is you get together with a friend or a family member and you guys just figure out a few things that you would need. So this could be like floss, toothbrushes, toilet tissue, paper towels, paper plates, maybe dryer sheets, frozen vegetables. It could be frozen seafood or frozen meats, or any like pantry staples, so syrup, canned goods, things like that. Now, not all items you buy in bulk at these warehouses make sense. It's not necessarily cheaper, they're just selling it to you in a bigger portion, but half of the time it does. And so what you guys can do is go in with a plan, and then you say, okay, so if toilet tissue costs $20 for us to get about 3 months or 4 months worth, then we'll each spend $10 and then split it, as opposed to going to the store normally where you would spend $10 to $12, maybe $15 just to get enough to last a month. So these are just some additional outside of the box thinking that you can do to kind of save some money. And this one's my favorite. So I like to buy in bulk in general because my family does use it, and I know that over months, instead of me buying the same thing every single month, is going to save money. But there was a time where I couldn't afford to do that, and so I would either save to do it, or I would split that cost with someone else. You can even split it 3 ways if it makes sense, because either way you're still going to save more money that month. And that could be for things like ice or batteries. So at Costco you can get a giant bag of ice, I think for $3, maybe $3.50. I think it's like 7 or 10 pounds after tax. It's $3.50. I don't need that much ice. I use a quarter of it, and then I give the rest to a landlord. I used to get it from the Dollar Tree or the 99-cent store, but we now know that neither one is still $1. And even then, it wasn't $1. It was like $1.99 or $2 or maybe even $3. And if I were to go to Ralph's or any other grocery store, it's going to be a comparable price, and I'm going to get less, and I'm going to have to buy 1 to 2 bags and spend twice the amount. So I'd rather buy in bulk and then have that extra to either give to someone else and save it for later, or split that cost with someone, because at the end of the day it's still saving me money. The next thing is buy off brand if you don't do so already. Now, there's nothing wrong with really enjoying a few items name brand. Everyone has a few things that just doesn't taste, feel, work, or look the same. However, you can't do that with everything. So, for example, my husband didn't know that a lot of the products that we use or food items weren't major name brand items. Like they were still organic or healthy or whatever it was, but it wasn't the common name he was used to. And then when I let him know, like, oh yeah, like this isn't a name brand, or oh yeah, I bought this from the 99-cent store and it still worked the same, he was completely floored. But before I even mentioned that, he was like, oh, we don't do that. I don't do that. Like, I don't like it. It's not the same. The quality isn't the same. It's not going to taste the same. But most of the time, we don't even notice those small, subtle differences because there really isn't much to it. So obviously, if you're having like a healthier version and then you're having an unhealthy version, then you're going to notice the processed foods and dyes and extra sugars and additives that are in there. But if we're just comparing apples to apples and the only difference is that one apple says it's a Sunkist brand and the other one says it's locally grown, but the locally grown one is at a cheaper price for a brand that you've never heard of, then you're really not going to know the difference. The difference is the label. So you really want to save yourself some money in doing that. Now, my final tip that's frugal and helps you save money this year is if you are good with your credit cards, and I say this very lightly, okay, so if you know for a fact that you are not good with your credit cards and you just can't control yourself, you just swipe and swipe and swipe, then this tip is not for you. Now, if you've come a long way or you're just naturally good at using your credit card, then I recommend that you use a credit card or get yourself a credit card that has cashback options. Most of the time, it's always 1% to 1.5%, depending on what you can get back on all purchases. And sometimes, depending on the type of card that you have, you can earn more money in different categories. So if you always buy groceries or always buy gas and always buy these certain things, or you pay your gas bill online and they let you use a credit card or some type of card, and it doesn't have to be linked to your bank account, use your credit card because you are going to get points back that can be used cash back or gift card to help you offset the cost of other things like inflation or other things you were going to pay out of pocket. Now you're saving money at the end of the month or in a few months from now. So it may start with you saving $5, $10, like I said, but that's the difference between you saving $60 and $120 at the end of the year. And depending on how many bills or items that you pay really allow you to use your credit card, you could be saving a few $100s a month or at the end of the year. Or if you wanted to go out more or you wanted to go on vacation, you could be using this towards mileage for airplane tickets. You could be using this towards gift cards to eat at restaurants or visas to buy products that you wanted for yourself that you otherwise wouldn't be able to afford by simply switching the method. So how do you make sure that you don't gain interest on this or anything like that is that after you pay it, you may need to wait a few days for it to populate on your card, but most of the time, even if it's pending, you can still make that payment. And then once it posts, it's going to credit it. So if you were going to spend $500 on your car insurance and car note and they accept credit card, I know that's not the case for all, make sure you're not doing cash advance, then you are going to pay with your credit card and then instantly take the money out of your bank account and then pay off the card immediately. So whatever purchase you made on your credit card, go ahead and pay it on there. And then you should also start seeing a boost in your credit from utilizing your credit card more because you're either not holding a high balance or no balance at all, but that continuous payment, it's going to register in the system and it's going to give you that extra 1 to 2 points considering. Now, another option is if you don't have a credit card or you don't trust yourself to use it or you don't like it, is you can use your debit card, and most banks offer some type of rewards system, almost like a built-in coupon. So they'll be featuring every single month different brands, and hopefully it's brands that you shop at that you can get cash back or discounts on. So normally it's cash back. So if you like to go to McDonald's or Starbucks, or you shop at Walmart, or you have an Amazon subscription payment, or you normally buy from Amazon, it's going to have something like 5% back on purchases, 10% back on purchases for this many days. And you can go ahead and select all of them. Even if you're not sure if you're going to use it, on the off chance that you do buy something from one of these categories, you're automatically going to get that cashback percentage. And at the end of the month, they're going to deposit it into your account. or they will allow you to choose how you want to use it in a gift card, or you have to convert it to say, I do want cash at the end of that month once you earn those points / percentages for utilizing it. So those are the 9 tips that I have for you guys today on how to save money in 2023. If you like these types of videos, I hope that you'll stick around and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.